Hey y'all, it's Dalanie.
And it's Katie, and this is Classically Black Podcast,
where we talk all things classical music and being black in the profession.
with trap beats playing in the background. What? If y'all could hear that,
I doubt it.
you don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hopefully not. It's somebody on the loose.
I'm trying to figure out, is it always somebody on the loose, or is it just like police fear mongering? Not that's not the word I'm looking for. Not fear mongering.
Intimidating.
Yeah.
Could be a car chase. I don't know all the reasons why helicopters circle. I don't know. Also, could not be a police helicopter. Could be a news helicopter.
Oh, true.
But that would be car chase. Yeah. I don't understand why y'all be getting in car chases these days. You not getting away.
Maybe it's like a last ditch.
Yeah, and some people just don't be all there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you not. So you want to get the chopper in the air? you
like, where you finna hide?
You got to go in the sewer now. Like, and even then,
they finna go down there and get you.
They getting you. They got the blueprint. Like,
but it's like, I hate it because I feel like, one time I was in a writing class and my writing teacher, to be fair, I don't know where in LA he lives. I'm like, I always get irritated because since we live in a black neighborhood, I feel like it's like disrupting us on purpose. That's what it feels like every time. Like one time when one was circling at like 1 a.m., it's like, y'all would never do this like in Beverly Hills. You would never circle for this. Somebody will complain. And it's like, I remember there was something Fran was talking about in the friend zone in her mom's neighborhood in New York. Like, the police installed this like bright blue light that shines like at night, and it's just like, this is like going into people's homes, and you like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna just to like disrupt their well-being. So I think about that every time I hear, like, they aren't, just let them on the loose. And to be fair, wait. But now when we hear
on the front door in the middle of the night.
And it's like, I don't know what the solution is, but I just feel like it always feels like that to me. My mind is always like, they're doing that on purpose. Like,
now I'm gonna hear a pin drop tonight. I'm gonna be like,
he in here.
Take so little. I remember I was telling my mom, I told her that you saw Sinners, and I was like, yeah, she was telling me about it, and I didn't even see it, and I was like, I'm gonna see Michael B. Jordan standing in my hallway at the middle of the night, and she went, ooh. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Ooh, it's crazy.
So y'all see what I deal with?
Ooh, it's crazy. Yeah, I kind of want to see Sinners again, but I don't know if I want to go through that again.
But at least now you know what to expect.
That's true, but it's also like, it didn't mess me up as much as a normal scary movie would. Like, I think I only lost like one full night of sleep because I went to sleep normally and I woke up thinking about it and I was like, great, now I can't go back to bed. And there was nothing so scary about Sinners. Like, there was like jump stuff and like gore, but like, I don't know, I just can't. I'm just like a weenie at the fundamental level. So I'm like, I don't want to watch it again, even though I know what's going to happen. It just puts me back in the mindset. Like, I didn't feel like Michael B. Jordan was going to jump out. I didn't think Raymond, the antagonist, the white antagonist, was going to jump out and like ask me to play the viola for him and steal my. I didn't think any of that, but it was like an unease that was over me for like a day. When I saw Paranormal Activity, I didn't see for weeks.
That's insane. I don't even know why you was in there.
Because it was like, my friends, they only like horror. They never want to watch a rom-com. They never want to watch action unless it's like Final Destination, which I don't even know if that counts as, that's horror to me. But because like, why, literally, I never forget that one scene where the dude fell off the bridge and was kebabbed through, you know how what's that thing called, like when a boat has, with the sail hangs on, they were like in San Francisco or something, car crashed on the bridge, dude fell off and got skewered through the sail thing. That y'all moved on with your lives. I saw that in whenever Final Destination came out, the whatever one, 2011. I still think about it. They went on with their lives. And that's why I don't like watching horror, because it sticks with me and you get to move on. But I'm always outvoted. Nobody wants to see Pitch Perfect. Nobody wants to see whatever was coming out, Moana. Everybody want to see what is the nastiest, scariest, goriest thing that we could find. Let's watch that.
So we stay home in solitude. Talk to the wrong person about that.
I remember we
I'm good for sending something out.
We did movie nights every week to the point that my grandma would ask me. She was like, "You got to go over Erica's house every week," because every Friday would be in her basement doing a movie night, and eventually you watching low budget. Somebody made this on an iPhone for $20 budget. Like, that's stuff you're watching on Netflix. Yeah, stuff that you Shane. Remember I told you that there was that thing like at the end of the movie they thought they got away. It was some cabin trip horror thriller thing, and the antagonist like put twine across the thing, and they were driving a convertible, so they thought they made it out for the weekend, and they all got beheaded on the way out. Last scene of the movie. That's what I was dealing with. You Shane laughed at it when I told him about that a couple weeks ago, and I'm still thinking about that. Might not even ever riding a convertible. Imagine you in a convertible, your head not off or not on no more. Somebody just.
Well, speaking of beheading, our democracy getting beheaded.
What if he starts doing? That'd be crazy. What if he started guillotining people?
Please.
It's coming. Mind you, it's only been like 2 months.
A group of over 600 industry professionals, including classical musicians of all different types, orchestral musicians, music educators, conductors, arts administrators, soloists, all that. They have an open letter and a petition called Musicians for Democracy that have criticized President Trump and his administration's approach to free speech. There are a couple of names on here that I recognize: Joyce DiDonato, Midori, Elisa Willerstein. I don't know how to say her name. Noah Bendix Bouchley. I also don't know how to say his name. I don't know how to say nobody's name, but their names are on the petition. If you want to sign it, I will link it in the description. I'll also you'll be able to read it. There's also over 500 signatories, so if you want to be one of them. Here's an excerpt. It says, "We, the undersigned, are American classical musicians. Our passion and mission are making music, and in doing so, offering listeners the possibility of deepening their experience and understanding of the world. We are not politicians. We are working citizens who are drawn to music because of its capacity to bridge different viewpoints and cultures and to connect us through our shared humanity." The main point of this is to address, like I said, freedom of speech. So I'll read sort of the end where they get more into that. They say, quote, "We feel acutely the urgency of our current situation. Democracy is a fragile system, but mighty when used by the people for the people. If our ability to speak freely, to engage in the world without fear of reprisal, is to stay available to us, we must exercise it now." So, good luck.
Good luck, because they impeached him. He still stayed. So, I mean, sorry. That's amazing.
And also, they're making sure nobody can read, so you might have to put it in hieroglyphics for my understanding.
Or emojis.
I was about to say, I don't even know what you're gonna have to do. Also in news this week, Lincoln College in the UK has opted not to accept any new students into its musical instrument craft courses, saying that there have been low application numbers this year, and it is not financially viable to accept a new class. The school was founded in 1972, or the luthier program. It says that it's trained many of the UK's finest luthiers, and is widely regarded as a major center for the discipline, because I think there's not a ton of places where you can go to school for that. And it's also, I remember we talked about this briefly, there's a list of, I forget what they call it, but it's like a list of endangered crafts, and it's not all disciplines, but it's like disciplines that you do with your hands, basically. And it's a bunch of ones, and they're like in categories in like red, which is like very endangered, like where there's like less and less people in instrument making of different kinds is on there. Yeah, I was like, dang it, UK just shutting it down. That's kind of scary.
What are they gonna do now? Make them on machines?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, that's what they do with kids' instruments, low key.
I mean, there's still people doing it, but it's just they're not accepting a new class. It says that the course was not financially viable unless a minimum number of prospective students were to apply. Oh, okay. And those numbers have not been reached for the 2025-26 academic years. Those who did apply have been informed over the phone that the course will not run. There has been a petition calling on Lincoln College to reverse its decision, saying that if the course does not proceed with this year's cohort, it will be quote, starved of future funding, deter potential future applicants, and ultimately endanger the course's very existence. That does make a lot of sense. Because they're going to be like, oh, if y'all could just skip over it now, we'll just cut it out the budget.
Yeah.
Like, but also, I don't know how to run stuff. I don't know if it's better to lose money on it and can be like, hey, we need more support and maybe marketing it or recruiting people, or to cut it. But it says here, they put out a statement saying, this course is solely a self-funded course and no current students will be affected by the course cancellation. All current students in their first and second years will be enrolling and will be unaffected by the situation. We are currently working with staff to explore and successfully establish new ways to deliver this important legacy course. They also there's a violin school in Newark. They said that the violin school in Newark.
Oh, York.
No, Newark.
New Jersey? Or is that like one of them things where there's like a...
Maybe they got a Newark too.
There's like no originality with this country.
I'm like, they must...
New York, New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm like, where Newark come from?
Newark? Is there a Newark? Sorry, that's not the point. I was like...
Now I'm confused because I'm looking at the thing because usually they... So you know when you define something for the first... I mean, when you mention something for the first time, you explain what it is and it doesn't... explain what it is. It just all of a sudden we talking about Newark. Okay. It says the violin school in Newark remains open. We remain as a college committed to this valued and respected school, which has been an integral part of Newark College for many years. Our students remain our most important assets, and we are here to support them with any concerns they might have. So there is a petition, like I said, to reverse the decision. I will just link the article. You can sign the petition if you want, if you think they should be able to go carve some violins. Yeah.
Sad times. Completely avoidable sad times. Oh, well, not for them, but in general.
Speaking of making violins, I wanted to talk about this last week, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this requires more preparation than what I had time to do. And then this is how things be flip-flopping so much in this country because they don't know what the fuck they doing at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Last week there was an article about how a lot of like music classes, particularly beginning musicians, will be affected by these tariffs in China that had reached the triple digits, and then China they came back with their own triple digit tariffs because a lot of these beginning instruments manufactured in China. And there was this whole sprawling article, and I was like, so when I sat down last week I was like, I don't have time to do this. This week I sat down to read it. By that time they had put like the fifth pause on the tariffs because so many American businesses are now on the ropes, about to go out of business like, or going out of business. Like all this type of stuff. So now they've paused the tariffs since this is from last week to this week. And mind you, this is not the first. This is like the 20th. You can't even keep up with these damn tariffs. You can't even keep up with them.
That's how like when most of y'all read at a 5th grade reading level, you run for president and you just think everything's just like, yeah, we're just gonna make America great by like just we're just gonna pull the plug on this and that. Everything is connected. You took a basic economic class, you took a basic anything, you would have known that literally everything we so wrapped up and tied up. There's nothing singularly American, maybe except for Heinz ketchup. Like, and that might be even a stretch. Like everything is connected, girl. Like a 6th grader could have told you that before you went and did all these tariffs and whatever else. Like, duh.
So I guess the beginning band people are okay, but it's like we've talked a little bit. I mean, we talked about the Kunz shoulder rest and stuff, and that the effect that the tariffs would potentially have on that. But yeah, there was a whole thing about the instruments in China, and it's just been back and forth and back and forth. We're gonna raise them, then we're gonna stop them, then we're not doing them, then we're gonna put them over here, all this stuff. And I remember looking it up earlier today just to see what's the latest, and it was like, yeah, it was just simply not sustainable. And it's they said it's kind of, the New York Times was saying, it's kind of testing the limits of what he can kind of get away with, because it's just like, there's literally, like, you at a certain point, even your supporters are like, wait, hold on, my business is literally going away, which but that's kind of the point that it went to. And it also reminds me, I don't know if you saw this video going around, but it kind of relates to how people just be saying anything on the internet, which will come up later in the episode. There was this girl, and I know who she is, but there was this girl who was talking about the tariffs, how they affected her. She ordered something, and
and the shipping was $1,500.
Yeah, so that, I know her because she's a tennis player's girlfriend. And she, she be around in the tennis stuff. But yeah, it was Ian Broomfield. She posted that she had bought like $600 worth of clothes, and it wasn't even the shipping. It was like the order went through, whatever. She got her tracking information, everything. Then they sent her like a bill for like $1,100 or something like that, after she had already paid for the clothes. And then she was like, that don't sound right, whatever. Then she got a UPS on her door, which, I hate UPS. But they the little thing that they put on your door, and they put like, you owe us $1,100.
Yeah, $1,155.
Yeah. And then some girl on Twitter was like, this is why Americans so uninformed, you don't know about the tariffs. I'm like, first of all, she never said she didn't know. Second of all, I ain't not even American, she's Canadian. But third, that don't mean you didn't know about the tariffs. That's not the saying I didn't know that tariffs would happen versus I paid for this. I saw the total, everything. You sent me the shipping information. Everything was paid. I got my receipt, and now all of a sudden it comes in and it's $1,100. I understand, like, some people, when you hear tariffs, some people don't know how tariffs work. I still don't fully understand, but the point is that it's like at the point of entry. So it's like, that's how they do come after the fact. But also they have no way of telling her that even if because they're tariffs, the amount that you pay for the tariff comes after the fact, there's nothing to even let her know, like, hey, you're going to be expecting around this much, even if you know you're going to pay a tariff. How do you know it's going to be $1,100?
And also, that's like what I've noticed, because I was on Shein looking for like some last minute like vacation stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go in Fashion Nova because I've noticed some changes. Shein has integrated the tariff prices into their clothes or whatever. So, I mean, it's still cheap as Shein, but it's like it's not like as whatever. You notice that some pieces are just like nicer pieces are just a little bit more. And, why did I say this? Why did I bring this up? But what I did notice that is new with Shein is maybe one of the ways they're combating this whole tariff thing. They have a message that says, like, we have incorporated tariff prices. Here, you can click here to learn more, but like, you don't have to worry about tariffs basically with them. It's like the first thing that pops up, because I think a lot of their stuff is like based in China or whatever, most of it. And then they were like, but they no longer have like express shipping. I noticed, like, everything has to be like regular shipping, which like is free shipping, but it also like takes like a month to get. It's like everything is kind of like, and I do Shein like sparsely, like I'm just kind of looking for like some pieces or whatever, but I noticed that, like, I'm curious to see. That's why that video shocked me a little bit, because I'm like, obviously you can't anticipate like what the tariffs are going to be or like whatever, but it's just like, I think a lot of companies are trying to get ahead of it and be like, we'll take on the cost for you. Now $1,100, I don't know how much you can take on. And I think what confuses me about that is my package is sitting on a boat 5 miles away from shore and it can't come until I pay the $1,100. Like, how does that work? It's already here. You know what I mean?
I think they can't release it to her.
Oh, that makes sense. Like when you send when we used to send barrels to Jamaica, and you have to pay like the import fee to get the barrel. Your barrel would just sit here. Yeah.
She's like, I mean, at that point you can have it, because if I wasn't gonna pay, you're gonna pay $1,100 to release $600 worth of clothes. Yeah,
and also it was two pieces.
Like,
no.
That's what we're going through. Anyway,
completely avoidable, but that's why I don't want to hear about no we didn't know and whatever. Go suck your mother. I don't care. It can't fix anything. We're already here, and we're only like 5 months in. What month is this even? June? We in May yet? We in May. We're only 4 months into this. He's testing the waters. We have 3.5 more years at minimum. So it's like, whatever. I don't want to hear it. I hope you lose every farm and I hope you lose everything.
Librarian of Congress out.
Wait, what?
What are you doing? Yeah. Fired her.
Wait, what?
Yep, the other day. Fired Librarian of Congress. Put in some dude that represented Trump in his DOJ case. Now he's the interim Librarian of Congress.
And the fact that, you know what I know is really terrifying? Like, the fact that you really can't decipher SNL from the news. Like, when I looked up that lady, I don't even know who she was. He appointed some lady that's a drunk or something. Old news, honestly, because it was SNL on Saturday. So he appointed some lady to do something. Never mind. I mean, it happened, but I genuinely don't know what.
The wrestling lady, Linda McMahon.
It could be anybody, honestly.
For the Department of Education,
maybe. And it's like, when I looked at the actual story, I was like, so the fact that this is, I was like, all right,
SNL documentary now.
SNL's a documentary.
Yeah, but it was like she putting stuff in the library that the kids not supposed to be reading. I'm like, that's not even how the Library of Congress works. You think she's stocking the shelves in the library? You know, like, that's not what the Library of Congress is for. What are you talking about?
Also, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom is not in the Library of Congress. You freaking twat. Like, what? Oh my God, we're surrounded by idiots.
And they were like,
what are we gonna do?
It's such a prestigious position that only like 13 or 14 people have been in that position since like the 1800s. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
But she's a Black woman, so
oh my God.
They was like, yeah, so let's get her out of here. Hope that Smithsonian's still standing by the time we get to DC.
Oh my God.
That's literally why. When I saw the results for Election Day, I said, I'm going to DC next year. I have to see the Smithsonian while it's still here. And I forgot who it was. They was like, well, and I'm like, no, like, I was not wrong. Like, I'm not happy to be right about that. But, like, I was not wrong to be worried that the Smithsonian would not be there no more at some point.
Did we start Juneteenth off?
I have no idea.
I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I feel like I should get it off.
Yeah. I think maybe if we do this probably the last year, because I remember they did something to try to reverse it, which
But
we should be off.
You said it was gone, but I didn't know if that was like
starting this year
a government thing or like.
Oh yeah, definitely out for y'all.
Yeah,
everything out for y'all.
Did we only have one Juneteenth or two? Or three?
I didn't have a job. I had a job last year during Juneteenth, but before that.
But I mean, like, as like a
federal holiday.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't have had it off before last year. Like, I wouldn't have noticed.
You wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he said it's gone. I just didn't know if that meant, like, government stuff. But everybody follows the government, so it's like.
Yeah. And I didn't know if it was effective immediately or, like. But everything seemed to be effective immediately, so.
Yeah, I had to. I might unsubscribe from that. I'm just not unaware. I have no idea what's going on. I get my news from TikTok and SNL. And then if something strikes my fancy and I'll be like, I actually want to know what this is actually about, then because obviously, like, before you, like, wow, Katie's an idiot. Well, first of all, please. Secondly, I'll go. I have a New York Times subscription that I'm paying. I'm just giving them my money. At this point, I'll go and see like what are the people actually saying about it. If something strikes my fancy, but I just cannot do a Trump administration news. I can't do it every day. Every day's new. I thought, don't he like to golf or something? He don't ever want to go golfing?
I feel like either it fell out of my algorithm or it slowed down a little bit or what, but I just know like anything museum book related. I follow Smithsonian, a couple, because they have there's 21 museums, I think, in the museums and libraries in the Smithsonian Institution. I follow the Library of Congress. I follow a lot of book publishers that, like Penguin Random House does a lot of book activism, anti-book banning stuff.
I see.
PEN America. I follow all that type of stuff. So it's going to be all up and down Instagram specifically. And then like Always Black, which is like the Black, like, you know, they have different parts of like a company to focus on like Black culture, like whatever. That's like Penguin Random House's page. Of course, the Librarian of Congress is a Black woman, so like people, you know, post stuff in support of her. Well,
and it's like, how does she get her job back? Are we just going to wait and see if the Library of Congress is still there if we get to vote again, and they just put her back? What do we do?
I don't know what they're trying to do with the Library of Congress. I don't know, because the institutions there, I mean, they're probably going to try. I don't know. Yeah.
Turn into firewood.
I have to go there too.
The minute they start burning books is when I might get a little like freaked out for real.
And they've been in book banning stuff. They've been on that for a minute. Type of stuff they be banning. I'm like, they was banning manga. They was banning Hunter x Hunter. I'm like, this 2 little kids going on an adventure. What? I'm like, really want to know like what they banning that for. They just be banning any. They actually, one of the departments banned J.D. Vance's book.
It's not pictures.
Mm-mm. It's a memoir, I think.
He can read.
He went to Yale. A lot of these people they're smart people. There's evil.
They were saying at Harvard they can't read books, so.
Oh, but he's old. He's like 40.
He's old, yeah. He can actually.
Yeah, he's of the generation. So you benefited from it. And I'm sure your kids will too, because you're rich. But like everybody else's kids can't. Not.
And is he like a veteran or something?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And somebody did say that was like some of y'all Ivy Leagues gonna have to answer for that. Like y'all turn out a lot of. I mean, I'm not saying obviously not everybody, but it's like a lot of these people that be coming out of these places be kind of, they're like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
You was at Yale. Your evil wife was at Yale. A couple of y'all coming out of Harvard. A couple of y'all coming out of, like what's up with that?
That's so interesting, because I feel colleges tend to be like very liberal.
Yeah.
That's like University of Alabama.
Yeah. But it's like it seems like a couple of them, some of the people, like they were saying that there's a collection of colleges that it seems like a lot of, maybe not a not insignificant amount of conservative politicians come out of. So it's like, what's going on there? A lot of big colleges will have some sort of conservative whatever. I went to USC. There's a Young Republicans whatever at USC too, but they just what's his name? Charlie Kirk with the weird face. He was at USC telling people to come argue with him. I'm like, y'all don't got shit else to do. Y'all really don't have lives. But like, so there's stuff like that on like all the college campuses. But somebody was like, yeah, we're going to see what that's about. I mean, I guess Harvard trying to atone for it now.
I mean, they
refusing to comply with stuff.
But they can do that.
Yeah.
But I also wonder how much government funding are they getting? Because eventually that endowment gonna run out. I don't remember how many hundreds of millions or whatever it is. It's substantial, but it's like you got to make up that government funding.
There's too much going on.
I can't think about it. It's just gonna have to just like one that faces me. It's facing me now. I could read. So. Whatever. Anyway, I forgot there's a thing before the topic. Intermission is what is something that classical music what was something that was an invention in classical music that you realized someone invented it because they were fed up.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like, do I even have a good one? I feel like in classical music, I had like a couple I was thinking about. One, I feel like method books, because I feel like y'all was just doing any old thing, and it was like they said, "Hold on, let me Nobody know. You put your finger here. You put that finger there.
Yeah.
Like, they was tired of y'all getting up there and doing any old thing. I feel like.
Mine is similar. I said music education. Like the degree. Well, you know, it is too much foolishness going on. I mean, and there still is. But at least it's better. There's like best practice in an orchestral classroom, in a band classroom, choir, like choral methods is a course, like orchestral methods. I took band methods. Like, there is like best practice. Someone was fed the hell up. You know, I'm making a curriculum. You must do it for 4 years. Like, and you must be good at your instrument while you do it. Even though some schools, when I heard when you compare curriculum to like, because I mean, ISU was very music ed. My undergrad at Illinois State it was originally a teacher's college, like in the 1800s or whatever. So it was very like, majority of the music students there are music education. But because I think it depends on your studio, like Kate was so, like, you had to play. You have to be able to play, because if you're not a good musician, your kids will you cannot teach. I just think that it doesn't work the other way. If you're a good musician, doesn't mean you can teach. But because I feel like people think that if I could figure out how to play something, then I can also teach it, but it's just not true. But definitely, like, you are a better teacher if you're a better musician. And that's why someone out there. When I hear some students play, I'll be like, what your teacher sound like? Because sometimes I'll be like, who your people? Like, what your teacher sound like? The proof is in the pudding. Because I was complaining about some of my students now. There have been attendance issues. There's been like disruption because of spring break. There's been whatever. I'm like, dumb kids gonna get up there. Oh, I've been chopping life. No one's gonna hear that from this, because it's just like, I don't know, I gotta miss something. I wanna call on, yeah. But they gonna get up there and they're gonna play the aunt song, and they're gonna play the dad song, and maybe even might do a little one finger song. But guess what? Them instruments gonna be on that shoulder. They're in all rest position and playing position. And we still working on not flinging that violin around. We still working on that. But it's just like technique. It's like you don't have to worry about what I sound like. You can just tell. And what do I sound like? It's been a minute.
Want to share it with the class? We should start doing that little interlude in between segments.
You go first. Actually, my bill's backed up. Your bass right there.
Well, hold on. But
actually, hold up.
Well,
okay. Well, you can play like this.
Can't. Well,
y'all's right behind y'all. Turn around.
They'll never know.
Well, I'm looking at it. It's right there.
I don't know what are you looking at?
Oh, we got bigger problems.
Yeah, that's how you be doing when you be going. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I be doing it.
Katie.
Anyway, you had a second?
No, she can. No, we don't, because Katie she be doing what she want to do, and then be trying to turn stuff around on me.
Delaney does a more heinous version of what I did.
No.
And then it's like, it's a tight ship around here, double standard. You say way
worse
worse than...
No, I do not say way worse. That's
Delaney.
crazy. That's crazy.
Delaney.
To say I say way worse things than you.
Worse things.
No.
Delaney.
No, I do not.
Delaney.
We can pull up the list.
Just because you keep track of what I say and I don't keep track, I let you say what you want, I move past
But that just goes to show how much worse it is. That fact that I can't even let it pass. I gotta write it down.
No.
I haven't said
nothing. You write it down because
you
you trifling, not because you gotta let it pass.
No.
You write it down, that's a trifling thing.
But what I'm trying to say is you could say what you want to say and do what you want to do, but when I do something, you just before we turn the mic, so you try to turn something around on me that I have never done and that you have done multiple times. When you was like, oh, something you hadn't told me, whatever. And and you've done that multiple times, and I've done that 0 times.
Delaney say worse things to me. That's the point of this whole
thing. No, that actually wasn't. You took it there. But actually, that was what I was originally trying to say.
It was what I moved past this. I let it go.
Of course you let it go, because you was in the wrong.
What was I in the wrong for?
What?
What was I in the wrong for?
Okay. What I just said. Once I pointed out that, and you can't deny it because we both know what just happened, you was like, now I'm moving on.
Don't even matter one little thing that happened in January, February.
No, it's happened before.
And I apologize for it.
It's happened before.
Really?
Yes. You had your reasons, but it's happened. You had your reasons.
So I have my reasons. So why you bringing it up?
Because two things can be true at the same time. You can have your reasons. I can respect that, but also it still can count towards a pattern. You didn't want to tell me because you didn't want to hear it.
The way I genuinely...
You was like, I cannot... You was like, I do not want to hear it because you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about later.
It happened recently? Before LA?
Before LA, for sure.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
About this particular thing that used to be on your head about that's now moot.
Oh, girl. and I don't regret that at all.
I didn't,
because it would have been a thing.
It also wouldn't have been had you just told me.
And that was so pathetic. Oh,
if you had just told me
bad.
if you had just told me like, girl, I really don't want to hear it, I would have respected that.
I'm like, it gets better, y'all. Whoa. What's down bad? The way I forgot about that genuinely had to be like, what are you talking about?
And the way everybody had to watch us talk through that.
The way I took it, I went in my amygdala and I dug a hole and I stuffed it in there and I patted it down like, the way I completely, I was like, what are you talking about? Woo! Anyway, your second one?
Like I said, I know you had your reasons.
You're not going to talk with the second.
But just know that when I have my reasons, I'm going to have my reasons too.
Okay. Then you're going to have your reasons. Everybody got their reasons.
You just don't give a damn what I'm doing.
Really, Dalanie?
Nah, Katie, and then what you say? You said I wasn't good enough.
That's not something I would say.
That's exactly what you said. I said, well, I'm not good enough, and you said, yep.
Because why would you ask me that? You love doing that.
I asked you that.
No,
because
and you deserved it. You deserved it because you love doing that. You love playing, and I play back, and it's like
it's not playing when you do it though.
I'll be joking.
Doing it,
you could be trife. I'm a trife back.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Because you did that.
You
did that a couple. No, you did that a couple months ago with something you said, and I said what you want me to hear, and then it's you not right. Why was it right? I was perfectly right because you didn't ask. You didn't ask it in earnest. You didn't say it in earnest.
How you know I'm not being earnest?
Donnie, please. Act like I don't know you. It wasn't there.
Not anymore. You're withering away.
So you see, and now we going somewhere else. No, you did not ask it in earnest. You were talking about, so I'm not good enough. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, no, you're not. Like, what you want me to say? You see, first. Nah, Dalanie just so. First. Oh, so I'm not good. I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough. Wow. Okay. Well, my second one, if it's good enough or not, I don't know.
Probably not. But you could say it. I'm sure they're interested.
What's yours?
Oh, yeah, one.
Then so do I.
No, you said you had two. They heard that and they want to hear. So,
well, I forgot it.
So you won't care about the audience isn't good enough?
Well,
she doesn't think y'all are good enough.
Well, that's fine because you said that to me. So
you're gonna hurt all these people because of one?
You're gonna hurt me?
I didn't hurt you.
How do you know?
Because I didn't.
Okay.
Your second one?
See how she don't even care if she hurt me?
Because I didn't hurt her.
How do you know you didn't hurt me?
Because I know that.
I could be fighting back tears right now.
You are. Cry right now. Let me see. Yep. Cry. Do it. Cry.
This is bullying.
What?
It's crazy. I'll wait until I'm...
That's insane.
Until I'm alone.
That's insane.
As usual. As I will be on that weekend. So...
what do you be saying? You used to be saying anything.
Nope.
Birds of a feather, I guess.
No, apparently not on July 26th.
Dalanie,
we'll be sticking apart.
Well, that's the way you look at it. If the 4-hour drive and the hotel stay and the concert aren't enough, then
nope.
And the living together and the show together and the weekly date nights.
Now I'm needy.
That's insane. And now you needy, but when you went 5 months, I want to hang out with me.
No,
yeah, you say, yeah, you you said no to me like 7 times.
I said no to you,
and it was like 7 times. I don't got a rejection kink, so I let it go.
So she let it go. She was going. She was frolicking all throughout LA.
She didn't want to go.
I'm chopped liver. You weren't asking me no more. I didn't realize
because I'm not gonna keep asking after you said no.
I felt like, to be fair, I really genuinely only remember
People
saying
like, what
no.
is the show about?
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
To be fair, I really only remember saying no to like one thing.
You said no like 5 times. It wasn't 7. It was like,
I really do not remember, because we went to that comedy show. That was the last thing we did.
That was
together.
the last thing, because I asked you about Fury, something, and like a couple other things. I was like,
I don't remember no couple other things. I remember Fury, and I remember the money wasn't to be seeing Fury. Like, he wasn't no crazy expensive, but
it's when it's extra
I literally ran out of money. Like
when it's an extra expense, it's extra expense. But I didn't know, so I was like, I don't got no rejection kinks. I ain't gonna keep asking you. I'll start frolicking. To win my way back in her good graces.
And I drove her into the arms of somebody else.
Oh my man.
Thank you so much for listening to Classically Black Podcast. If you want to hear more, we have 324 other episodes. Unfortunately, we will no longer be continuing with the podcast. If you would like to follow me individually, my name is Dalanie. I'm at Alani Day on social media, on Instagram and on TikTok. You can also search me on YouTube at Dalanie. That's DALANIE. Also my Linktree, linktr.ee/Dalanie. And that's where you can find me individually, untethered and alone as usual. So thanks, and we will see you guys never again. So sister, you want to say your goodbyes?
No, we're only halfway. You gonna share your second one? That was the whole thing. You gonna share your second?
My second one, yeah, we'll finish out the last episode for you guys.
Oh, until next week. Yeah.
Well, my last episode for you guys. Until you guys get your new host. Well, I'll let Katie reveal his name. My second one was, what was it? Oh, it was store-bought reads. I was like, somebody had to get tired of being in that thing. And it's funny because it was originally going to be the other way around, but I was like, no, that would have come first. Because I was about to say, yeah, because I was about to say, y'all was probably getting them reeds made out of pencil shavings and was like, you know what, let me just do it myself. But that was like, that would have come first. People was probably making their own reeds, and then somebody was like, we don't got to do this no more. And decided to mass manufacture them.
But only students use store-bought reeds, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I have heard of some people, like, if they're in a pinch, they'll buy one and you know, zhuzh it up, I guess. But yeah, I'm like, dang, how bad are they? I'm like, how bad those reeds gotta be? That
I don't understand that whole reed thing. Do you make it every day? If I had to make a bow every day, I don't know how y'all do that. That sounds terrible. Or like, yeah,
rehair your bow, like,
or rehair my bow every day.
But I mean, they make like several at a time, and they keep them and they whatever. But it's like,
it's your favorite. You got your favorite reed, and
listen, you gotta carry around a sack of horsehair, and you gotta mix it up and whatever. And even that, not because y'all are carving and testing and carving a little bit more and testing it. Like,
that don't sound.
We don't really have an equivalent to that.
And also, like, you have to like practice. Like, how are you practicing? You also have to make reeds. The girls are like, exactly. But I'm almost like,
I guess their capacity, I guess, to practice a little, like, maybe it balances out. Because like, we can practice longer. Because I know when your chops go, it's kind of like, I mean, but even so, like, if you play a lot, I don't know how long their chops last. I don't know. Maybe I do. I played the bassoon for a couple years.
Bassoon easier than the oboe.
Oboe, you.
Imagine playing through a coffee stir.
Your face all turned
up hurt
into itself. And
I was talking to somebody, and it was I guess like, because I was like, yeah, you know, like in my prime when I was doing like 4 to 6 hours a day, depending. She was like, what are you doing during that time? Like, why do you have to practice it? But like, it's oboe, so it's like, they just don't practice as long, or maybe when you're preparing. I don't know what you go. Let me know.
I wonder how the practice differs. Like, because for the fact that, like, I understand if you can't practice for that long, but it's unfathomable. Like, you don't know what I'm doing. It's kind of like, I wonder how do you, because I just don't know anything else.
I mean, I've tried practicing, like, in a pinch, and those were my worst auditions. Like, if I did, like, 2 hours this day, and, like, I only have an hour, I'm gonna do Bach and, like, a couple excerpts. Like, those are my worst auditions. Like, the best, that Nashville. Wow. I was like, y'all some haters. Like, no, y'all didn't see the vision. I ate that up. Like, that was 6 hours a day. That was my best audition. Nashville, 6 hours a day for like a month. Like, was so good. And because I felt like it was in my fingers. I felt like, so I don't even know how y'all doing. Yeah, I'm making reads and I'm 2 hours of practice.
Like, girl, I get to an hour. I'll be like, my best practice year, 2017, 2018. My best practice year, I'm warming up for an hour. Like,
I'm like, I do scales for an hour.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a rush, I'll do like scales and then a little Stradiak, and that's an hour. And then I'm doing, Baritag, that's an hour. Then I'm doing Bach, that's an hour. Then I'm doing excerpts, that's 2 to 3 hours. And I'm done.
Dang, I forgot about practicing.
That's crazy.
I had all that opportunity. Maybe I'll take my nails off again. I said that the first time, didn't do anything. Practicing kind of tea.
Yeah.
When you're not doing it. Just the thought of it.
But I got some gigs coming up. I need to get back in shape. So they're not like, whoa.
Okay. So.
What's wrong?
Anything else?
I could tell I was getting burnt out towards the end of Memphis. My fingers, like, I feel like everything I was playing was out of tune. My fingers felt like Play-Doh. Like, I just needed a second. I wonder if anyone else experienced that. Also, maybe not in a position. Do you think Joe's in a position to feel like that? Like, you just can't.
So what he's struggling with.
But also, he probably just look at the notes and they just.
Right. Whatever he wanted to play, they arrange themselves into the.
Yo, I'm sorry. Everybody else except Joe. Sorry to burden you with my commenter problems, Joe. But yeah, towards the end of that, I was just like, whoa, everything I play just doesn't sound great. Like, yeah, I need this second. But we're here with my sister. Cause we are sisters. We stand together. We make up one big family. That we don't look the same. Our spots are different colors. We make each other stronger. That ain't ever gonna change. Believe in me, Mr. With cheetah girls, cheetahs. Gotta do what you gotta do. Got the brains, got the pride, we speak the truth. Go everywhere, all around the world. See, best to say, the cheetah girls, dancing, singing from our birth. Working hard for what we deserve. Oh, that's us. Try not to raise. Cause mama ain't raised no fool. Only see. Only dreaming. Here's your part. And we need help to carry on. They should have mixed that better. Us to know we're not alone. Cause we are sisters. We stand together. You're not gonna sing along? Make up family. We don't. This is nice. This is nice. Not gonna answer?
Whoever's listening, first, nobody's listening on audio anymore. I was about to say, whoever's listening and is not watching this on YouTube to see what just happened, they've long clicked out. But feel good about that?
I feel great. They should have mixed it better because Raven's voice like juts out. Then we need help to hear. Oh, Raven. Wow. So talented. We went through a little head assery period. Whoa, Nelly. She got that wife. But, you know. I don't know the lady. I just don't like you trying to humble her. Like, you even know who you married to? Like, Raven, these some... Please. Anyway. Speaking of the girls. We're talking about a Doechii clip today that went viral. What, Dalanie? Oh, okay. We're talking about a Doechii clip that went viral at the MET Gala last week, where she was, well, y'all will hear it. Here's the audio. I'll see how that sounds, because sometimes it could be weird, but basically she was at the Met. She's trying to, apparently a lot of celebrities like to do a big reveal on the Met's red carpet. So she was trying to stay, she had like some type of like medieval dressing gown thing that she was, a dressing curtain thing that she was like going along with, and like people could see from above. She was like give me the effing umbrellas now. Like she was like yelling at her staff. And so we're going to talk about that and how these behaviors also show up in classical music and our thoughts on it and stuff like that. So what did you think when you saw the footage?
It was interesting because everybody was talking about it, and some people were saying, oh, it wasn't even that bad. Some people were like, some people were saying like, why are you talking to people like that and all that? So if you, I mean, Katie said it, but if you don't know what Doechii's voice sounds like, she was the one saying like, give me the fucking umbrella, or I need 3 umbrellas now, all that type of stuff. And the other people were hurt. It was like urgent. Like everybody was like saying like, yeah, we need that umbrella, da, 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 da. But like she was obviously cursing and yelling in the way that she was saying it. So there was 2 sides to it. There was, oh my God, why she talking to people like that? And there was, y'all being ridiculous. It wasn't even that bad, all X, Y, and Z. I personally am an adult that pays all my bills. Nobody talks to me like that. Literally nobody. And I am very like firm on the fact that I do not believe that there's any reason to talk to people like that if they have not like disrespected you in some way. And so that's why when I saw the video, I was like, the one and only thing I could give her on this is, or I'll say 2 things. One is if you blew up in some way and you owned it and you apologize afterwards. Because if I ever spoke to someone like that, I 100% would apologize after. Or 2, there are situations, especially with women or Black women, where people don't respond if you don't. Yeah. Whatever. I'm like, that's the only thing I can give her. Yeah. Is if you said it nicely a million times, and they don't respond unless you get like that, because that is a possibility. Now, I do think some people are dramatic, and that they think that just because you say something is wrong or rude or whatever, that you're going all the way to the end of the spectrum and saying that person deserves all the worst things. Like they were like, you're not finna cancel Doechii over this. I'm like, no, but that was never on the table. It was
never on the table. Like, it was never on the table. What are you talking about?
It was never on the table. But I'm like, y'all are not gonna act like you would enjoy being talked to like that. Y'all, I see every day on the internet, somebody asks a clarifying question to your tweet and y'all get a snappy and y'all whatever, and y'all take offense to literally everything. But now all of a sudden, since it's Doechii saying it, y'all like, this is totally normal to talk to people like that. No, the fuck it's not. I cannot remember the last time anybody spoke to me like that.
Yeah, I remember somebody was like, I read a thread to Dalanie and they were like, I've yelled more for less. And I'm like, yeah, you talk to a mental health. Beat your ass, actually. That first, actually. Like, what are you talking about? that's why that's been a thing with me in the internet. Like, as a person who loves reading the comments, sometimes like I'll just skip that because this been like, I don't know if it's a new trend or if it's like I'm just noticing it now, people being purposely obtuse. Like, do you actually believe that? Because like, yeah, we can give Doechii grace or whatever, like maybe she asked for it the first time, because there was a moment with Beyonce, she was like, yes, I already asked for this before, you know, like she could have asked for it the first time and it was like, the only way you hear me is if I yell at you. But like, there's the being purposely obtuse just to be like, y'all never yelled at somebody before and she wasn't even that loud and she didn't even say nothing that bad, and it's like, yeah, what were her umbrellas? I'm like, y'all, do y'all actually believe that? You just talking. Like, do you actually believe that? And though she didn't apologize, she like posted a TikTok like the next day, and it was like, I have a screenshot. She was basically like, God forbid a girl is asking for an umbrella, and it's just like, girl, that's not really what it was. But yeah, I mean, we don't know the details, but hopefully it was bad enough that you thought that was justified to talk to somebody that way. But I still can't imagine a world in which I would speak to someone that way.
Now, I will say, now that I think about it, I don't know that I would have apologized to the public. I would apologize to the people that I spoke to that way. But I probably wouldn't apologize to y'all.
But you know, everything's about saving face. You know, if everyone thinks that you're an asshole, it's like.
But also, it's like people was thinking stuff about her before, and they're gonna think stuff about you after. Not about that, not in that particular way, but there's already people that didn't like her for whatever reason, and this is giving them something to latch on to.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wouldn't apologize to the public is because I just know how y'all are. Y'all love an angry mob. Y'all love all that. Yeah. And they just love to see when they're getting to you. They love to see you come to heel. That's why I probably wouldn't have responded in the first place. But also, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if there were hundreds of thousands of people talking about
you. Yeah, she was like, God forbid a girl needs more umbrellas, with umbrella emoji and laughing emoji. And I don't know Doechii, because people were like, and I felt bad for her a little bit, because people use anything as opportunity, like Dalanie said, to like finally be a hater, you know. So they were like, oh, that fame got to her head, and I'm like, I don't know Doechii, but when I saw the clip the first time, I mean, obviously we would materialize. We were talking about it in a different way, about like, what the hell are you talking to people like that for? But I'm finna be on the side of black women. I'm just like, I wonder how many times she had to say that or something, because like, she just seems like a sweet girl, and it's just like, it's a huge year for her, you know, and like, you want everything to go perfectly. Now, I can't really understand. I can understand like the weight that the Met Gala holds, but also it's like, people gonna see her outfit, like whatever. And then also her reaction, now people are like discrediting how she looked cute, her little fly outfit, but people, it immediately makes you go, girl, for that, you know, like, which is like, wasn't the point of that interaction. So,
oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's like, yeah, it is an important year for her. She, you know, you just won your Grammy, you coming off of a lot of success, you want to keep that upward trajectory going, you want everything to go according to plan. But you also, was you thinking about that when you was thinking about when you consider the fact that somebody might be recording while you're cursing at your staff? That's part of it too,
constantly being recorded, like, be like aware of that.
I just feel like, especially because my staff, like, I just really fundamentally do not believe that. And that's one of the lessons my mom really drilled into me. She always said, you can say anything to anybody. It just depends on how you say it. I don't know about anything, but like, yeah. But you know, like, by and large, there's just a way to talk to people. Mm-hmm. There's like, and there are some people that are really good. Like, I remember when she ate that up.
I had to give her that. I ain't gonna give her much, but she ate that up.
Like, some people just have a really good way with words, and that's a part of being a manager too. Mm-hmm. Now, another thing with that whole, like we said, we don't know how many times she had to say it. Sometimes people only hear you. Whatever. Why are they on your team? Right. You'd be fired.
That's a good point. So maybe that was on her.
That's the things I'm like. Now, yeah, sometimes they may have pushed you there. They may not do whatever. They wouldn't be employed.
And also, like, that whole one thing I was talking to Dalanie about this situation when it first happened, that whole, like, I need more umbrellas, like, that whole, like, is a fame getting to her head? I don't think it has. I don't know her. But also, it's like, maybe that's a glimpse of it, too, because where were the umbrellas coming from? When she was like, are those your umbrellas? Like, whose umbrellas are you asking for? You just asking for umbrellas and they materialize? Like, I don't know.
But that's that environment. That's why I'm like, where y'all be in that? In where there's a whole lot of celebrities. I'm like, I feel like the Met Gala would be super, super stressful. Because it's just like everybody want to be the most important person in the room.
And so Issa was talking about that. She was saying how like it's humbling because it's like you're there, you're taking all your pictures, and then they're like, oh, someone else, and it's like, oh, I guess I'll walk inside now. Like
when they was tearing that reporter up for shooing away Babyface for Chapel Roan,
which yes, rightfully deserved because it was just rude.
Girl. It was extremely rude. Yeah, it was extremely rude.
Like I hope she. I know I'm not gonna. But yeah, have you ever interacted with someone like that in classical music?
The problem is my memory is terrible. I think that there are certain personalities in classical music that are more likely to act like that. Mm-hmm. Conductors, obviously, a pretty big one. I haven't played under many, if any, mean conductors. There have been some cuspy ones who, like, you know, they could be a little abrasive, mm-hmm. but like there's some conductors who are just really pretty awful. Mm-hmm. So I've been lucky to avoid them. Or I've heard of some people having issues with their studio teacher. I personally, like, I can't really remember. I've been very lucky to mostly just be around pretty nice people.
I mean, yeah, I can think of one, but I can't mention that for my own place to mention that. But for my own security, I would say. But Delaney knows. But I've been around rude people like that one violinist. When she be kicking with me, I'm like, girl, the North remembers. Like, that's one thing about me. I don't hold grudges, but I will not forget how, if it was ridiculous, I would never forget it. Like, we not bouncing back from that certain stuff. But that's a different situation. She was just more of a bitch than she was anything else. And she won something, and I was like, thank God. Like, now you could leave us alone. Like, I know this is all you had. Like, but no, I can't really think of like that specifically. But I wonder what does it take to get to that? Like you think that's in everyone to act that way, or like I just don't understand how you go from being like sweet, whatever, humble to you crashing out at people.
One thing I was gonna say, maybe not classical music, but when I was in grad school, so pretty recently, I had a professor blow up on somebody in a way that was super inappropriate. It's the closest I would say, like banging on the desk in front of them and everything. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you that class would have been, and was removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super inappropriate. You said what leads to people acting like, one, I don't know. I don't think it's in everybody. I think, like, especially because some people are conflict averse. Some people, like, it is. And I try to think, like, okay, everybody is different. Everybody handles things differently. But, like, also, you handling stuff differently doesn't give you a pass to, like, act a certain way to people. It just means that you have to figure out how you manage your differences to be respectful to everybody. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people were saying, like, oh, it was a high stress situation, y'all ain't never been or whatever. And I'm like, I understand the Met Gala, there's a lot going on, but if we talk about high stress situations, there's people dodging bullets in the street.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like, I'm not trying to be like that that person, like, well, what you're going through was nothing because of that. But it's like, it's a high stress situation in that this is a big event and whatever in your career and whatever, but it's just like, it's also in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. You're still famous and you're still rich after this. There's gonna be one next year. Like, all of that is true. But when people are like, well, y'all never been into, like, you know, a high stress event and all this type of stuff, and I'm just like, have I never been stressed before? Like, I feel like even I've been through stressful situations and around people that cause me stress and all that type of stuff. There's just a way to talk to people, and some people handle stress better than others. However, like I said, it's up to you. It's not saying, well, I don't handle stress well, so I have to cuss you out. It's no, I don't handle stress well, so I need to figure out what can I do to manage my stress within me so that it doesn't blow up at other people.
Yeah.
That's where the accommodation comes. The accommodation doesn't come from other people accommodating you being an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's what that other person gotta learn.
And they won't. But what I'm finna say. Yeah, because I was telling, when we were planning this, I was telling Dalanie, like, if I'm in a high stress situation, stuff is happening, I feel myself noticeably speaking slower, choosing my words more carefully, like making sure that like I regulate my tone just so like the stress of the situation doesn't make I'm not perfect, but just to make sure that the stress of the situation doesn't like cause me to say something in a way that I wouldn't intend on saying, or like getting snippy or getting short, like for literally no reason.
Because I'm like, I just don't do well with stuff like that, because I just feel like I don't do that to other people, so why are you doing it to me?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I'm just very grateful that in classical music I have mostly just been around people that just been regular.
Yeah.
Because it just would not have gone over well. You know? Like,
yikes. I mean, should be fine. I still love Doechii.
Yeah, that's the thing. People was like, well, we not canceling her. Y'all trying to tear her down. I'm just like, y'all, nothing can ever just be. Everything has to either be on the internet. Everything has to be either the worst thing that's ever happened or the best thing that's ever happened. And so it's like, we can't say like, dang, she was being an asshole to her people. People think, so you hate her, so you want her career to crumble. It's like, no, she's very, very very talented. She looks beautiful.
Doechii the
all
Don,
those things.
Doechii the Dream, Doechii Supreme,
the Swamp Ruler. Like, yeah, like still love her down. Like, I absolutely want her to win in all the ways. Stop talking to people like that.
Yeah.
Girl, what?
And maybe, she'll get more calm and stuff like that, but also you don't want to have no reputation of being
like.
But also some people just won't care about that.
Yeah, some people just don't care. There's a whole lot of people been in the business for a long time. If you rich and famous enough, and that's the thing, Ron. I said there's people that are more likely to act this way. People in power, because it's like we regulate our tone and stuff because we know, like, if we are in our situation we work in, and you're not at the top of the totem pole, you're also regulating your things not only because you want to talk to people a certain way and be respectful, but also because like, I need this job, or I'm not trying to get chopped or whatever. And when you are the talent or whatever, some people be like, well, what y'all finna do? Replace me?
Yeah.
And so then they be acting the way they acting. I remember this one person was telling us, I don't think they told us who it was. It was a director. They were on a set for either a show or a movie. I think it was a movie. And the director fired someone for making eye contact with them. And I was like, y'all are... Everybody weird. Everybody just weird. Like, just doing stuff because you can. And that's exactly why. What's his name in the clink right now? Did he? You wasn't happy being filthy rich. You had to start doing all this crazy stuff because you couldn't stimulate yourself because you had everything under the sun, and you were like, well, let me make up some sick stuff to do. And now look.
I wonder how he feel being like, all this could be avoided if I wasn't. Like, you are in jail for something forever, hopefully, that like was completely avoidable. And apparently he mad that Luigi getting more attention than he is.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I forgot where I heard that from. I think it was on the news.
Oh, you heard
that he might get off?
No, the other one that's in prison? Tory Lanez?
He's staying forever.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
No way.
They chopped him up. Stabbed 14 times.
God is good. Amen. 14 times.
7 times in the back, a couple times in the torso, twice in the back of the head, and once in the side of his face. But they said that he was talking and whatever. And I said, so who stabbed him? A tax evader? Like, y'all couldn't. Apparently he gonna be okay. But, right, I was like, call me.
Well, actually, I want him to stay alive. I want him to serve all of that.
Yeah. Because I'm like, well, and some people say, well, maybe he fell on some glass and there's no evidence and what happened, because that's y'all was tearing Mega up and all this type of stuff, and now
okay, I was like,
because people were saying that, oh, she didn't get shot, she stepped on some glass, whatever. So I was like, maybe he stepped on some glass
14 times.
Yeah, maybe he just rolled around in it.
That's why sometimes
made up a story.
Sometimes you really got it, because sometimes I'll be like looking at people do stuff, but like, y'all. Like karma, I'm not saying like you have to whatever, but it's just like, you really thought you could put all that negative, like this girl, she lost went through incredibly difficult things in such a short period of time. She felt she had no friends. She didn't know who was around her. She felt incredibly lost. She was still putting out music. She was still doing all that stuff. And you thought you could put all that negativity out into the world and it wouldn't come back to you?
You thought you could shoot her. Then you thought you could intimidate her. That was what really... You intimidated her by breaking your restraining order, coming to her concert, coming on stage after her. There was like at a festival, and he came on dressed up in like a suit, like a character, you know, like with a mask and everything, so he could sneak past all these people. She has a restraining order against you, and then you take it out just to show like I can get close to you. You're intimidating your victim. He also did a music video where he was chopping up a horse leg.
Yeah,
it's talking about a HGS special, Hot Girl Summer. Like, you throwing subliminals, all this type of stuff, trying to discredit her story, saying that she's lying, but you never really said what happened. Like, no. Like, actually, 14 more.
That's what I'm saying. And every single time I want you to make sure you miss the heart and miss the lung, and just when he stopped bleeding out, you just snatch him back to life. I don't know Meg. I don't know her, but she's like, you have to just respect the work ethic. She seems like she gets along with everybody. Like, her music's amazing, and like, she's just been through a lot, and you didn't give a damn.
Like, girl, I was like, when I saw her, I was like, girl, I would not. I gotta tell you, I wouldn't have made it to the other side of that. I would not have your mom and her grandma. It was like
your
mom and her grandma back to back. Your dad been dead. Like, all this stuff. You have no parents in the world. You're like by the time she was like 23.
You're 23. You have nobody. You have no parents. No siblings. And you're figuring and you're like filthy rich, and you're figuring all the stuff. Like, who are your friends?
Yeah, I was about to say, which friends are real? Your best friends turned against you. It was a lot going on.
And like, even the people in her, that's why that scene kind of made me laugh when it wasn't funny. But when Lorianne Gibson was like, you got to know who you are, da da da, and she was like, I think tried to take her phone. And Meg was like, because it was like, you don't have to shoulder what I have to shoulder. Like, people are doing what I'm doing under ideal circumstances.
Yeah. And
it's like, I'm doing this. She was so exhausted, and like, she was talking to her manager, and she was like, I don't want to do this thing. He was like, well, you got to do SNL. So can you do that? And it's just like, imagine like trying to be like, actually, I can't do this anymore. Everyone's around you like, well, you kind of have to, and then you can't. Like, it's just like, I don't. Yeah, you like, y'all. Every day I say y'all lucky that I'm not in charge. I would just come up with stuff. Like, she is such a sweet girl. Sometimes you can just tell. Like, obviously, like, she's putting on like she's only showing us like what you can see, but like what she wants you to see. I mean, but it's just like, leave that girl alone, and that all came back to you. And I hope, and like I said, you lucky I'm not God, because I would have show you 7 times 7. Like, you would have lost some ligaments or something. Some phalanges, something. Like, you walking away with 10 fingers and 10 toes? Thank God. Or whoever you worship.
Like,
I hate him. Like, yeah. He in the same prison as Diddy? No.
I don't know where he at.
I don't know if he
at. But that's just, I can't believe people support that. Anyway. One thing I did want to bring up, because we were talking about people that are likely to, or have we witnessed that in classical music. One subset that you'll run into in classical music that I have noticed be rude is stage crew.
Oh,
they be rude as hell. I don't know what it is about that job, but they all rude.
Oh, I like the head dude at MSO.
I'm like, maybe
I did like him.
Maybe it's or they just so. Hurt. They're very hurt.
LA Phil, they had somebody in my face. I said, listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
And what I wonder is, y'all, with that whole high pressure, whatever, I'm like, because they have very strict regulations on the union stage. I'm like, I wonder if and people do just be thinking they could do whatever.
Yeah.
And so maybe because the consequences are so high if stuff is not up to the union standards or whatever, like, maybe that's why maybe that's the closest thing you get to a high pressure situation.
Maybe because I wonder what that's about, because even when we were on the call we were on today about this and that, and I'm like, maybe like a lot of that was shielded from us, or like obviously it's a different state, so like we had different stuff, but it's just like, as long as it's not 90 degrees on stage, like we just here. Like after I moved to stand like this, he was like, please don't move to stand. I said, I'm moving to stand. Like, and I realized like LA Philly, they don't like when people do their job for them. Like I played a concert and the violas were like all up in the timpani. I said, can we whatever? And I was like, can we just put like 3 violas on the first, you know, they got the little tiers or whatever. Can we just put them on the ground? He's like, well, typically we don't do that. I'm like, this is like, can we just whatever? So I try to move the stand. He's like, I got it. I'm like, I can move the stand, like, because first of all, it was my idea. Why you stood around being like, like it was my idea to be like, and obviously I don't know the rules and the regulations.
Yeah. So if you need a stand move, you gotta tell them.
I was like, girl, first of all, half these stands falling apart. But I guess. Yeah. But they do be a little hurt. They do be a little.
Yeah, they be so. I'll be like, calm down.
But the way my ears just stop listening, like that one person I was talking about earlier, my ears turn off if I hear a tone. Like I can't even lie. I'll be like, "What you say?" Like I don't know. Maybe it's a defect. Like I can't hear if it's rude. Everybody listen up. I'll be like, I can't hear
Beethoven.
Beethoven to the noise. Like I really like. I can't hear. Come on, why you talking? Who you talking? My mom don't even talk to me like that.
Like
I ain't gonna tell you like. So all that stage announcements and then I be like, girl, let me know you done spitting.
Like I love being in charge of something.
And that's another
thing.
You
could hell of a lot of money.
Do they?
The head person. Oh yeah.
But then you gotta be sweaty and they be
hell of a lot of money. Way more than I thought. The head of the. I'm not from. I mean, whatever his business. I'm not going to say the number, but you can look it up. I remember ballpark, like the head stage person at Disney Hall.
It's 200. It's more than that.
It's more than that. Yes, I was like, whoa.
How you audition?
I was like, I had no idea, but I mean, I guess it's a busy venue.
Yeah, because you're not only doing LA Field.
Yeah, not only doing LA Field, they do other events and all that type of stuff.
Graduation, you doing.
Yeah.
It's more than 300?
I think it was upwards of 3, yeah.
Girl, but yeah, with me in charge, now I'm dropping that piano off the side of the stage.
I was like,
now I see why y'all do it. Now I see why people want to do it.
Right. But also it's like, that you the top of the totem pole. Though I don't know what the regular.
Yeah. I mean, also, I don't even know my
skill labor.
Yeah, it's definitely skilled.
Everything is,
yeah. Because I remember, well, when I was pushing cars to Jules, I wasn't skilled. What was I finna say? My only point of reference is MSO. Well, I played with Richmond one time, but that was set up when I got there, so I don't know. But like the head dude at MSO be doing stuff too, but I don't know if that's just like because the orchestra's smaller or what. But that's also like a hard job because like when I'll be talking to him, he's like, yeah, we've been like the concerts at freaking the concerts at 2 on a Sunday. You're there from 7 a.m. And then everybody, the concert's over and everyone goes home and you're leaving at 9, 10 on a Sunday. Yeah, I mean it also depends on the thing. Like, it depends on the thing because obviously, like if it's just a regular orchestra concert, like they not whatever, but they gotta load stuff in the truck and they gotta do this, and they gotta do that. Especially like we would play at University of Memphis on Sunday sometimes for the matinee, and it's like we using R timpani and R so that gotta go in the truck and that gotta be just like, girl, I've been in my bed. Like I was back in my bed 20 minutes after we was standing up. So yeah, I mean that don't sound glamorous at all. I'm good. I'd rather just. But shout out to y'all if you do that and you listen to this for whatever reason. If you made it this far, actually.
Yeah. Cherish it. Our last moments.
Oh, girl, we'll see everybody next week, and we're going on a little trip together. This.
Well, that's against both of our wills. So
heavily against mine because he was always supposed to go. Heavily,
but it was against my will even before that.
Well, right.
You just got roped in unexpectedly.
Definitely got roped in. Definitely
hilarious. You were really talking. You was like, "Dang, you gotta go to this."
Literally, that's
and
what
then it was like,
That's why you can't run your mouth. And literally last year, I was like, I deserve it, because last year you were going to the whatever, and I was talking to you, and we were just talking. I was like, I'm so glad I don't gotta go to that. You like, can you go to hell?
And God said,
don't have to go. You say, but like we made some shade. We freaked it out.
So, and then they freaked it back. So we gonna see. Yeah, we gonna see where the freak land.
Because I don't even know how that finna go. Just one of them times where, like, I haven't felt this in a while, but I'm just like, how are we finna get everything done? That's how I'm feeling. But we moved.
We both have deadlines during that too, so that's great. I'm trying to think about it. So
I when I have times like this, I have to go day to day. Cause I was thinking about tomorrow, like, early, and I'm like, I just have to get through today, because then it's not even that bad. Like, my kids were listening today, and no one cried, and only one forgot their violin, so that was great. Only one tantrum, but I was kind of at my wit's end. I told her to get over it.
I uploaded the episode without the intro music today.
Oh,
so that's
perfect.
great. So I had to replace that. I was like, and I moved the track to make room for it. So it's 27 seconds of silence right at the beginning.
Is it still like that?
No, I replaced it.
I would have. Well, it depends.
Yeah, you can easily just replace the track.
Yeah.
So I just replaced it.
I'm filling time because I'm looking for my Black excellence that I should have favorited, because I have 12,354 screenshots. So
do you remember their name?
Nope.
Let's see. You can search it.
Oh, maybe I looked it up because they're a teacher and a creator. Oh, maybe I looked it up on my personal account. So yeah, we're just going, oh, look at me. Simone went to, oh wait.
She just on her explore page exploring.
Simone Biles got an honorary doctorate.
Period. Dr. Biles.
That's what it says, Dr. Biles. If I ever got an honorary doctorate, that's just how you gonna address me. They're gonna be talking about me. Found it. I just don't see, because I'll be so afraid of God humbling me. I'd rather just do the work for him. Like, just call me Katie. Call me baby Katie. Call me lowly Katie.
Lowly Katie, really?
But Katie. All right, y'all. Time for Black Excellence, where we hype you up, gas you up, and give you a props. There's room for everyone at the top. This week I'm talking about Cliff Jones. He came across my for you page, on TikTok or whatever. He can be like, I don't go to TikTok, on the internet. Because he was teaching an ear training class to 4 to 7-year-olds. I just haven't seen good teaching like that in a long time, because a lot of you girls can't teach. And it was just so good. Like, the way he taught major, minor, augmented. Like, I'm like, you know what, the kid's gonna be okay. So I'll link his profile so y'all can take a look. But he has something called the Copet method he created. So y'all can go take a look at that if y'all want to learn how to play with power, speed, and expression in 6 weeks. But yeah, he's a teacher, pianist, and just be doing the thing. So shout out to you, Cliff. Keep doing what you're doing.
Period. My piece of the week is Prokofiev, Romeo and Juliet, because it has been a sound on TikTok going around, so I've been hearing it a lot. I went, you know that, right? The sound, I mean.
Oh, right.
Because we're supposed to do that this week.
Oh, Sunday.
Oh, well, last week. It will be out by now. But right. I saw one today that was like, tell me about like a socially like awkward situation that like you think about this day, like not no regular like, oh, you told the barista you too after they said enjoy, like no, something worse. The comments were insane. Like, some of the stuff that they said were I gotta send it to you. The comments. I remember a couple of them. Like, one, like, she was like a nurse and she saw a doctor who, he always had scrubs on. She ran into him and was like, oh, I almost didn't recognize you with clothes on, and with his wife sitting there. One person was like, they got the day off of school or something, and it was like their birthday. They were like, oh, we have the day, we're having Monday off, whatever, and it was their birthday, so they were like, yippee, da, 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 and like exclaimed, and they were like, yeah, so a teacher passed away, and her service is gonna be on it. Like, the comments were crazy. Like, I'm like, I have things that keep me up at night for sure, but like, please do not, like, things happen. I told you, I was thinking about that thing that almost happened the other day. It didn't even happen with my hair. It almost happened. It didn't even happen when I came home. I just felt it and I was like, oh, that could have happened. I have not stopped thinking about it since. It didn't even happen. I'm like, that type of stuff cannot happen to me. I would never, ever forget it.
I be always doing embarrassing stuff, so I just be like, I just be trying to get through the bed. Crazy. Like, I went to when I was at the park on Saturday, I busted my stuff. Like, I'm clumsy, so I just be. Dress? But I have shorts underneath.
Well, I mean, but you saw my ankle was.
Yeah, I'm clumsy. I'm finna fall down at least once a year. Just fall to the ground.
My ankle was all. That was when crazy. I stepped in that hole and then the other hole.
But afterwards. I've never been graceful. Like, I'm finna fall once a year.
But that's kind of the stuff in the comments was crazy.
I've never seen you with clothes. I might have seen you with clothes on.
What the why? Imagine him having to explain that. Like, now y'all got to backtrack. Does she believe you? Like,
well, but that's the thing.
There was another one, but yeah, maybe I'll link it if I remember. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Yikes. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to Classically Black Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Classically Black Podcast, because we have episodes every Monday. Isn't that right, sister?
Well, we do. So anyway, we have had that. We have had that in the past.
We'll see you next week. And we already planned the month. We don't let them down. We already planned.
Were you thinking about that when?
I did nothing wrong. So what was there to think about?
Okay. Wasn't you just talking about people how they be circumventing accountability?
Yeah, but it's not that.
Okay.
We have merch as classicallyblackpodcast.com/store. Well, we have the thing where like you can order 1,000 t-shirts if you wanted to, so they don't have to worry about that. If you want to join the Patreon, exclusive content, funsies and stuff like that, that's patreon.com/classicallyblackpodcast. Thank you for listening, and we will catch y'all next week.
Well,
we'll see you next week.
Well,
see you next week.